we have also more Kojima news. Kojima's working with Xbox. They are working out the finer things apparently. So here it says that Microsoft and Kojima's teams have spent months discussing a possible partnership. Now it is more likely than ever that those conversations will bear fruit. The deal is so close that Microsoft has begun preparing for what Kojima will need to make his new game. Last week, Microsoft announced that it had hired Portal and Left 4 Dead developer Kim Swift to oversee partnerships for cloud-based games. Swift most recently worked at Google's cloud gaming service, Stadia. Microsoft hired her with the purpose of assisting in making Kojima's cloud game a reality. As for what Kojima's game actually is, you people know. The point of the partnership is to unlock the creativity of Kojima Productions using Microsoft's technology, as opposed to greenlighting a specific pitch. So basically, he's gonna have free reign and free control over whatever the fuck he wants to make, and Microsoft just wants it exclusively on their console. That's pretty much, I feel like, what I got from that. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds about right. My issue with this, or rather my concerns, is the long term with how Microsoft operates in dealing with him. Microsoft doesn't have a good track record with Japanese developers and pumping out games. So I'm sure you're familiar with Scalebound, which was the
Scalebound.
platinum game.
Hideki Kamiya, right?
Yeah. So he's mentioned it a couple times in interviews that the way that Western companies expect um uh I don't even know how to, like, progress. They want progress reports based on the game, and it's, I guess, difficult the way that Japanese developers do it. It's so drastically different than how Microsoft does it that it became an issue. And the same thing was said by Mistwalker, which was the people who developed Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon on the 360. And
Mhm.
as of right now, they don't even make no more Xbox games. I mean, granted, they make mainly mobile games, but that was a big Japanese development team. The majority of the people from Mistwalker were people who left Square Enix, who want to keep making JRPGs. And Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon are amazing games on the 360, but I don't think they ever want to do another game with them soon because of the way that Microsoft operates. Which, granted, it's not to say that Microsoft is a bad company, but it's so culturally different from what they were used to in Japan that it was hard for them to operate and do things. So,
And it's also not to say that Microsoft hasn't changed.
yes,
Because remember, Scalebound was an Xbox One like launch title,
it was supposed to be, yeah.
and we're talking 360 games. So
Yeah.
Xbox has had a good 7 years to 8 years to fix their shit, which they're doing. They're with Phil Spencer at the helm, Xbox has been doing much better for themselves. So I understand the concerns and the criticism and the worries, which it's warranted. There's clear reason for it. But again, this is also Kojima. uh, and I can see because Kojima took forever with Death Stranding. That game, he barely showed anything for that game every year. It was like a good 4 years before that game dropped when it was revealed.
Something like that.
So he kept a lot of that under wraps. This doesn't also mean that he's not going to work for Sony anymore, because Death Stranding Director's Cuts clearly is still coming out, and I'm sure he has plans for Death Stranding 2, and that will be a Sony exclusive. But at first I thought he was bought by Sony. But now that I'm thinking about it, that was only a partnership, so he has his own dev team.
Yes.
So
Which
he is just Kojima Productions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Kojima Productions is not a branch of Sony. Kojima Productions is him, and he's just working with everyone under the sun.
Yes.
Which is cool. That's really cool, and I think that this is a beautiful opportunity for Xbox to have something different on their console compared to Gears, Halo, Fable,
Forza.
State of Decay, stuff like that. So I think that this is a good opportunity for them to capture a specific audience, because a lot of Kojima diehards are also PlayStation players.
Yes.
You know, and then a lot of Japanese people on the East, they kind of stick with Sony and they don't really go Xbox. Like Sony and
Actually,
Nintendo.
the Xbox has been rising in sales lately in Japan. So
That's interesting.
this might bode well for both Microsoft and Kojima to be able to get out another game in Japan. It'll raise up Xbox sales. Maybe that's honestly why they did this, was to try and boost sales in Japan, or rather just the Eastern market. Because now you have more people that are willing to buy, and then like you can just get the S. The S is $300. It'll run the game. It'll look amazing. Yep. That's what we did.
It's exactly what we did. And I have played my S every day.
Yep, I was playing it right before we did this.
Like I've jumped on my PS5 to play FF7 here and there, and I played some DBD. But whenever I want to like sit down and game, I've been doing my S, man.
Yep,
it's an amazing console. It runs beautifully. It's next gen. It's literal next gen in that tiny little box. So
surprising.
To think that I'm gonna get a next gen Kojima game, and we're not gonna miss out on it.
Nope.
You know, it'll be on Game Pass most likely too.
Yep.
So we don't even have to buy that shit. But now we have a beautiful little box that's gonna run our Kojima game on a big ass fucking TV.
Amazing stuff, man. The great age to live in.
Yep. Beautiful fucking age that we can now own a PlayStation, an Xbox, and a Switch and feel at peace with ourselves and feel like we're getting the most of our gaming.
I mean, we really are. We really are.
This is a wonderful time, and I feel like maybe 5 years ago I'd be like, "What is this? Why is he exclusive with Xbox?" Now I'm just kind of like, "Yeah, this is awesome, gaming."
Little something for everybody. Kojima here,
games.
Kojima there.
Yep, you're gonna get
Stranding on PC.
Yeah, yep.
So literally everyone is getting a little bit of Kojima right now.
So we're gonna get a Death Stranding director's cut, and then we're gonna get a little bit of a Xbox exclusivity game to fill us with our Kojima love. And then that's if he's also not working on Silent Hill, so we don't know what's going on there.
He's gonna have a full plate for a while.
Yeah, and there was the rumors that Death Stranding 2 is in like the planning phase, like he's coming up with concepts and stuff like that. So he's got a lot going on. Which is, I feel like what he was trying to say at Summer Game Fest, what he was talking about now, he's thinking about how the pandemic helped him reflect where he wants to move with games. Because people were saying that it's weird that he kept bringing up 9/11.
Yeah.
But people don't realize that MGS2 dropped like right around the time of 9/11, and he had to change a lot of that game.
Yep.
Due to 9/11. So, you know, for him, he was comparing basically the pandemic to 9/11 because these are two times where he probably has games in development that probably relate to a lot of the pandemic, and he doesn't want to trigger people, you know, or he wants to change the story and tell it differently.
Especially with the way the media outlets act now in regards to things like this, where you have to be very
sensitive.
Yeah, PC, very PC.
We'll see what he got up his sleeve with Xbox. This is a big acquisition for Xbox.